You know what? Everyone is biased. It seems like one of the most controversial things one can assert online right now is that everybody is prejudiced. Perhaps it is harmful to certain fragile egos, but everyone has bias. I am not excluded from that, and you are not excluded from that. Let's dive deeper into what it means to be prejudiced and how it arises. Current research suggests that prejudice does not belong to a particular ideology. Of course, that should be evident by the fact that an atheist can be just as averse to change as a judgmental Christian or a radical leftist. Instead, prejudice is thought to arise from an individual's desire to control their perception of the world. They are prone to black and white binarist thinking, as they are uncomfortable with ambiguity and change. They have an unrecognized innate need to make quick and firm decisions, which are generally the byproduct of overgeneralization from small samples and little research. Sometimes an individual will have some level of familiarity with the topic. However, it's generally based on inadequately scrutinized logic, second-hand sources, and most of the time it's from an authority figure that they view as on their side. Prejudice is actually a very broad term. This mechanism for quick and decisive thinking is just a byproduct of evolution. It's simply a natural feature of the brain. It allows us to discriminate from animals that may harm us or other things that might cause us injury. However, we have to be the ones in control if we are going to refer to ourselves as intelligent beings. As far as we currently know, we are the only species with the ability to question our prejudice, to question our very own minds. Just because our ancestors suffered from the relative seclusion of humanity and a misunderstanding of the great variance present within our species, doesn't mean we also have to be the same way. People are superficially and culturally dissimilar, but that doesn't mean we have to negatively impact their lives just because we don't understand. The actions that are performed due to having a bias against a group of human beings result in racism, sexism, transphobia, and more. Even when small portions of the population have little amounts of bias, that can result in segregation on the macro scale within society. In the same way that atoms create the building blocks of life that result in beings capable of questioning their own ethics, small amounts of prejudice comprise the systematic oppression of minorities. If you check the box down below, there's a transcript, and I highly recommend checking out the Scientific American post, Everybody's a Little Bit Shapist. It illustrates the mathematics behind how this micro-phenomenon can result in macro influence. That is the exact difference between prejudice and discrimination. Discrimination is the term we use to describe when negative cognitive bias results in large-scale problems for other human beings. Discrimination uses stereotyping to deny the rights of other human beings. It does this by removing their humanity and making them a construct. When we impact another person's life with our hatred, anger, or prideful ignorance, that's when we have to stop and examine what we're doing, why we're doing it, and what, if any, action should be taken. We have a moral obligation to replace that negative with something more positive. Personally, whenever I see somebody flinch at being told they and everybody else on this earth are biased, I kind of find it humorous. After all, we talk about bias in science a lot. It doesn't matter really what field you're in, if it adheres to the scientific method, you are going to talk about bias. These people proudly proclaim that they love science, yet they're not even interested in adhering to what it has to say. Truth be told, they really just love memes. They like things that they can quickly react to and then dismiss. These tiny glimpses of knowledge build up in their brain, and they feel that they are superior, that they truly know more. It's a way to feel like a special snowflake, even though nothing was done. Luckily, queer ones like her don't happen often. We know how to nip most of them in the bud early. You can't build a house without nails and wood. If you don't want a house built, hide the nails and wood. If you don't want a man unhappy politically, don't give him two sides to a question to worry about. Give him one. Better yet, give him none. Let him forget there is such a thing as war. If the government is inefficient, top-heavy, and tax-mad, better it be all those than the people worry over it. Give the people contests they win by remembering the words to more popular songs, or the names of state capitals, or how much corn Iowa grew last year. Cram them full of non-combustible data, choke them so damned full of facts that they feel stuffed, but absolutely brilliant with information. Then they'll feel their thinking. They'll get a sense of motion without moving. And they'll be happy because facts of that sort don't change. Don't give them any slippery stuff like philosophy or sociology to tie things up with. That way lies melancholy. I've been there. I know what it's like to feel full of knowledge, yet truly know nothing. I've been transphobic even though I was trans, and I've been homophobic even though I'm within the LGBTQIA community. I've been every type of prejudice you can find within the right-wing demographic. However, I learned how to replace the negative with positive. The gap I filled with information. Everybody can do that same thing. If they cannot, then most likely they already got that information from experience in the first place. I don't act in ways that I was conditioned to during my younger years because I recognize their impact on other people's lives, and I recognize the moral obligation I have to solving that impact. My life's actions and presence should not interfere negatively with somebody else's unless, in my opinion, they are hurting somebody else. However, we can discuss philosophies on a different day. I appreciate you for joining me, my witchlings, and I hope to have you around again soon. You mean the world to me. It is so wonderful to watch you soar to new heights and empower yourself with knowledge. I thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of that. Please stay safe and know that you are incredible. Until next time, bye.